Hello and welcome back to She TV. I'm Candice Oneida, and today I want to talk to you about 4 feminine qualities that you may want to know about if you're wanting to get back into your feminine power, and how these might pertain to your life, your work, and your relationships. And so the very first feminine energy quality I want to talk about is embedded in the very word feminine. Fem, in. In order to be fem, you go in. Everything about the feminine is about an inward movement. We've even got this word when we compare male and female genitalia, which is invagination. It's an inward movement, and that very thing is not just a metaphor, it describes the motion of the feminine. Now this can play itself out in so many ways. Once you get this, once you grok this concept of feminine is this inward movement, you'll start to be able to receive, and all these other things I'm about to talk about, when this inward movement allows you to go back into your body, out of your head, into your body, your energy, your heart, your sexuality, right? And all of these things are exactly what you want for yourself first and foremost, but it also works out so much better in relationships when you're able to be in your feminine in this way. And the second feminine energy quality you want to know about is receiving. So receiving is to the feminine what doing is to the masculine. Now let's face it, our modern world is all about doing. It's doing oriented, to the massive detriment of women's energy, anyone's energy, but particularly the feminine, because it ends up creating incredibly high levels of cortisol stress. This ends up suppressing the female hormones. That then affects your libido, it affects your energy, and it can ultimately lead to burnout. I know this story. That's exactly what happened to me in my 40s. I got completely burnt out from being totally in my masculine, and it's what led me to starting this channel. So receiving. If the masculine is about doing, now I think what often happens with women is when, and I keep using relationships as an example because it's a really great way to illustrate these forces and these energies. So women will start dating a man and they'll start doing all these things, caretaking him, doing everything for him, just to make sure that he wants to be with them. And they do all this outwards doing actions, and it doesn't work, because what it ends up feeling like to the man is that you're caretaking him. And what archetype is that? That's the mother archetype, or mothering archetype, and he doesn't want or need that from you. Now if a man does take that from you, that should be a big red flag that you've got a little boy or a man in his false masculine in your space, and you are not attracting a king at all. Now, as a sidebar here, all of these things I'm talking about are about how to be in your true feminine, how to be in your queen, okay? So receiving, a very basic tip on how to receive is someone says, "You look really beautiful today." Don't go, "Oh, no, I don't look beautiful, I've looked so much better." Just graciously receive it and go, "Oh, thank you very much." And it can feel vulnerable. It is vulnerable to receive a compliment from somebody. It's a really good learning for receiving, okay? And of course that receiving can take all sorts of proportions, from receiving gifts to receiving words to receiving the safety and holding and the beautiful provision of the masculine. And when I say masculine, I mean the masculine energy. That can mean life, it can mean friends, it can mean a man, it can mean many things. But this receiving orientation, receiving flows into your business, financially, right? This is all this feminine know-how, this receiving know-how. And as I said in previous videos, this is cup consciousness, okay? Whereas the masculine is arrow consciousness, directional doing consciousness. Cup consciousness is receiving and opening. Now the next one is about being in your heart. Okay, this pertains to anything in your life, right? Be in your heart. Now, of course, a heart, and I'm putting to the center here, this is a heart center. This is an energetic center. I'm not talking about the physical heart. This being able to be in your heart is something that everybody can respond to, right? Because when you're in your heart, you're softening, you're being more, feeling sensed, okay, which is a very feminine thing, being in a feeling sense rather than a doing, this feeling sense. This being in your heart, because your heart is the thing that the masculine is going to fall in love with in you. Your heart. And so heart center. And you can do this, touch this as a way to get to know your heart. Feel it. There's a warmth there. There's a way to get to know your own heart. And of course, that is this in movement too, isn't it? When you feel your own heart and then you get to know your own heart. And when you trust your heart, you're going to trust signals, good and bad. Yeah, trusting. We're back to trusting again too. So be in your heart. This is a great way to be in your feminine energy. And the last one I want to talk about today is be in your body. Now, when I say body, I equally mean in your energy. And energy would mean the chi, the prana, the etheric body, when we're talking more about spiritual energies, right? Or the knowing of the energetic component that wraps around the physical or through the physical, right? But let's just, for argument's sake, just call it be in the body at the moment. Now, embodiment is such an important part of feminine power. It's so important, this being in yourself, feeling. So as I'm saying this, my awareness is being taken out of my head into my torso here, into the heart center, an energetic center, down into my belly and pelvis, down into my pussy, down into my legs. And I teach all sorts of things about this in my trainings with women. And I should put a link here to the pussy power practices, right? Which is one of my main practices that will show you how to embody in the feminine, right? Because one of the things I notice more than anything with corporate women is they've gone into their head, they're living from here up. And we need to get back into the sensuality and the flow and the juiciness of our feminine form. It's gorgeous. There's so much power here to enjoy, right? And this is an essential way to get into the feminine energy. And of course, it's something that is not necessarily intellectually understood by the masculine in your environment. They will feel it in you. Trust me, the masculine has a radar for this one, right? So if you're really in your body, they're going to just adore you. A woman that loves her body is just so alluring to the masculine. Okay, so if you've had some epiphanies today, pop them down in the comments box below, or any questions for me. And remember, when you have the courage to go out there and shine, you give others permission to do the same. So let's all go out there and shine this week. Much love and bye-bye for now.